Very good morning, namaskar to all the participants, those who are sitting in the conference room and those who are present with us online. Very warm welcome to you, Sumit ji and Ashutosh Nayak ji. I hope you can hear us properly. So today we are going to start this session. My request to all the participants is that this session is going to be fully interactive. There is nothing like running the theory sessions. Whenever you feel like, as you are driving your car, whenever you feel like to take a break, just give me a signal. Okay, we want to break here. We will break the car there. We will park the car there and we will resolve the query and then we will move forward. Our intention is not to run the theory, run the session, let the clock pass. Our intention is to whatever I have to share with you, that should be delivered to you with the right spirit and with the right use so that you can digest it, you can absorb it, and you can keep it with you for a longer period. It should not be like that wo samjha seekha tha. It should be there with you as much as possible. So that is the intent. So I am here for the 2 days, 2nd May and the 4th May. What my intention is that since tomorrow we have an off, so what I will be doing, I will be sharing the numerical parts, calculation part today, so that you can practice those things tomorrow, and we will give the maximum theory part on the 4th May, so that theory can be easy to keep it up with you. Numerical part, whatever the queries you have, whatever the doubts or in terms of understanding, you can clarify those things on the 4th of the May. And also this financial modeling, ROI calculations, performance calculation, capacity utilization factor, all these things are very important for designing the solar power plants. Whenever we are talking about the designing, we are talking about the two things. And let me be very frank with you, the major decisions are taken on the financial basis. Your project could be very good, your project could be very sound technically, but sometimes you will find that your project is not getting approved because it is not making a financial sense. Okay, as I gave you an example, you might have found out a very good copier machine. This machine is very good, it gives you a very good printing capacity, quality also. But if you have a requirement of only copying 10 prints in a month, there is no need to buy that machine. Okay, this car could be very good, this is giving a very good mileage, but if you need to hire a taxi once in a month, there is no point of buying a car. So financial modeling is very, very important, and unfortunately, what I feel that since I am also from the engineering background, what happens in our engineering academies, we are taught alpha, beta, gamma, but we are never taught ROI. And let me be very frank, there are many students who are passing out from the engineering colleges and they don't know the full, what is abbreviation ROI. उनको ये भी पता नहीं होता कि ROI का full form क्या है. हाँ, because वो mindset ही नहीं बनाया जाता. And when they get into the industry, so when they are sitting across some management consultant, when they are sitting across some financial consultant, what they feel like, they feel very inferior complex. I don't know about the accounting, I don't know, he is talking about IRR, he is talking about NPV, and I don't know about the full form of these things. And if I say something, or if I say something wrong, then I will be considered as a foolish. That's the fear, एक बड़ा basic सा fear हमारे अंदर आ जाता है, यार ये फाइनेंशियल का बंदा बैठा हुआ है, ये NPV IR की बातें कर रहा है. If I say something और कुछ गलत बोल दिया तो everyone would laugh at me, everyone would say यार इसको तो कुछ आता ही नहीं है, So that's the kind of fear whenever we are talking about financial things. So what I have done, I have blended this course in such a way, but I have understood that engineering students are never good at the financial things. So what my intention is that let's not focus on the technical only कि एक तरफ तो इतना ऊपर चला जाए और दूसरे वाला वहीं पे वहीं रह जाए. Let's keep this also high and then this also high, so that together when you make a foundation, it is a strong foundation. It should not like एक फुट तो आपका यहाँ पे और दूसरा फुट आपका यहाँ पे है. You would never be able to stand properly. When the both foot are at the same level, then you can stand there, comfortable manner. So financials के ऊपर आप हमेशा ध्यान दीजिए, because whenever you are going to make the larger decision in your life as a project consultant, as a project manager, every time you would be asked, does this project make a sense? Does this project make a sense? Whether we should buy this taxi or whether we should buy this photocopier machine. The similar way you would be asked, is that makes a sense to do this project or not? It is not about the solar. It's about everything what going to put up for the capital budgeting. So financial modeling is a very important aspect, and luckily we should be able to do justice with this today. and tomorrow you would have a practice day, and on the next day you can ask me for the queries. So I request the online participants, since I am not able to see them, my request is wherever you feel like anything to ask, please give us a signal. We will stop there and we will carry on after resolving the doubts. And one more request, what I have feel that in the physical session it is more easier to make a comfort level, but in the online session it is bit difficult. So I just request, there is a quote that which says that if we involve, then we evolve. If we involve, then we evolve. So I just request you to kindly involve yourself fully so that you can get the maximum from this program. So today we are going to start the session from the calculation perspective. As I have told you, design has two kind of calculation. A is how to design, how many number of panels, how many inverters, how many cables and everything. Second is the performance calculation. And this is also linked with the financial modeling. So this is very simple and easy to understand. This is called performance calculation. Whenever you have to figure out the performance of a solar power plant, you have three main components. What are those three components? First is called performance ratio. This is also called PR ratio. The second is called capacity utilization factor, which is called CUF in short. The first is performance ratio, PR ratio. The second is capacity utilization factor, which is CUF. The third is specific yield. Okay, so these are the main three things. Sorry? Specific yield. Specific yield. YIELD. So these are the three things. When we are talking about performance of a solar power plant, when we have to compare the performance of solar plant A with the performance of solar plant B, in that case we can take the help of these three factors. And how we calculate the PR, CUF and specific yield, we will see. Whenever we are talking about the performance ratio, what is meant by performance ratio? Whenever we are talking about any factor, उसका एक मतलब होता है performance ratio. What does it mean? Let us say for an example, I will take lot of analogous examples so that you are clear, and those analogous examples are meant to bring the clarity. If I ask you, Sachin Tendulkar made 80 runs on 100 balls, what was his strike rate? What is his strike rate? 80%. 80%, no? 0.8. You can say 0.8 or 80%. Okay. When I say that Yuvraj Singh made 40 runs on 50 balls, 4 by 5, 80%. 80%. So can we say that both performed equally? Yes. Can we say both performed equally? Now you can say that Sachin has made more runs, so Sachin has played well. But it is not. When we are talking about their performance, here strike rate is meant by performance. Strike rate is saying you have taken 50 balls and you have made 40 runs. You have taken 100 balls and you have made 80 runs. It means both of you have performed equally. And when we are talking about the performance ratio of a solar power plant, here what it happens, right now it is 1120. Okay. Let us say the irradiance outside is 700. Okay. Irradiance outside is 700. And at 5 o'clock, irradiance will be 250 only. Irradiance will be 250 only. Now, if you give Sachin Tendulkar 700 balls to play, he will make 560 runs. Okay, 80% के हिसाब से. And if you give him 250 balls, what he will do? He will make 200 runs. Right? So what performance ratio means here is, if you are giving something, you should produce in contrast to that. Your strike rate should be always equal to that. If your strike rate is falling, it means you are not playing at your potential. You are getting my point? Yes, sir. So when you are giving an irradiance of 700, okay, you should make, let us say, 40 kilowatt power, for an example. Okay. And if you are giving 350 irradiance, you should make 20 kilowatt power. Okay. If you are not making 20 kilowatt power at that moment, it means there is some problem in the plant. So performance ratio is a measure to calculate what irradiance you are getting and what output you are giving. If the ratio between the irradiance and output is equal throughout the different periods, for example at 9 am, then 11 am, then 1 pm, then 3 pm, then 5 pm. At these times, the irradiance is different actually. But what you will find that your performance ratio is always equal if your plant is good, right? So what the formula is, you can see here the formula is output active power in kilowatt peak, okay, into 1000 into 100 plant capacity in kilowatt peak into solar radiation. So what here is, let us say the plant size is 100 kilowatt peak, okay, plant size is 100 kilowatt peak, so 100 kilowatt peak aa gaya. Solar radiation is equal to number of balls you are giving to him, okay. So solar radiation is, right now the solar radiation is 700, okay. So this is 100, this is 7000. Output active power, I told you that, let us say the output active power is 50, okay, right now, multiplied by 1000 into 100, 1000 is the standard.
वो क्या सोलर रेडिएशन है क्या?
हाँ, स्टैंडर्ड सोलर रेडिएशन कि इतना, जैसे स्ट्राइक रेट क्या है, when we are saying कि strike rate is 80, it means that strike rate is not 100. So into 100, आप इसको कैलकुलेट कीजिए एक बार, क्या आता है, आउटपुट एक्टिव पावर इज 50 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 1000 into 100 डिवाइडेड बाय प्लांट कैपेसिटी इज 100 into 700. कैलकुलेट करके बताइए मुझे कितना आता है. $71.42. Okay, everyone got it?
Yes. So what is the W per meter square? Watts per meter?
This is irradiance.
What is the W, sir?
W is watts.
Watts per meter square.
Watts per meter square. It means that sun is
that is the unit of
solar irradiance, जो solar का light आता है. So everyone got it? 71.42. Okay. So let us say this performance ratio is measured at 11 am when the sun was giving you 700 irradiance. Okay. Now I'm just changing it on a approximation basis. Now I just say to you that solar radiation has reduced to 350. Solar radiation has reduced to 350 and your output has reduced to 36. Sorry, output has reduced to 25.
From 100 to 25?
No, from 50 to.
52.
प्लांट कैपेसिटी सेम?
वो तो सेम रहेगा.
Still 71.42.
Same आया ना? So what does it means? It is telling you if you are wearing the fuel. Fuel is what? Solar irradiation. Solar radiation is your fuel. Okay. If you are wearing the fuel, your output is also getting varied. But is your performance is constant or not? Yeah. So you got the clarity now? So this is the purpose of performance ratio. Performance ratio is only to find out at any particular instant. मैं वहाँ पे गया. I just went out there. I just wish to check whether this plant is performing or not. So I would just need to check with this. If it is more than 75, then plant is considered as good. For an example, जैसे cricket में we say that if the strike rate is somewhat about greater than 80, it is like okay. So in that case, in solar, if your PR ratio is greater than 75%, you can say that my plant is performing good. Now, when the PR ratio will drop? PR ratio will drop when this is my solar plate. Okay. Now, the sun is coming. This projector is acting as a sun. It is sending the light to it. Okay. Now, what happening? Whatever the light is coming is getting मोटा शब्दों में is getting inside this panel and giving you the output. Okay. Now, a huge layer of dust is fixed on this panel. Okay. Now what will happen? Sun is sending you 700, okay? But what is happening? There is a mota layer of dust over it, and that dust is not helping it. That dust is actually opposing the light to get into the panel. So ultimately what will happen? यहाँ पे आपका जो 50 किलोवाट आ रहा था वो 50 ना आके 40 हो जाएगा. Now you just calculate it on 40. 40 पे कितना आता है वो आपका? Are our online
That solar radiation.
वो 700 ही है. अब आपका डस्ट आ गया ना बीच में. Our online friends are also doing it.
57.1.
Are our online friends also doing it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great. If you have any problem, then please let us know.
57.1.
So your PE ratio have dropped from 71.42 to 57 point something. So now you can go there, okay? Let us say you have asked your person to give you this data and he has given you this data. Now you have checked that PE ratio is coming 57. So you can immediately make out that the cleaning is not happening. If the cleaning is happening, then definitely the plant output should be greater than 75%.
How can we measure solar radiation? Is there any equipment?
Yes, there is an equipment for it. Yes. Now here is an example. आप इसको अपने एंड पे खुद करके देखिए. Output power is 192. Okay. Plant capacity is 300. And solar irradiation is 800.